Hey, my name is Jasper from Saleshub. Thank you so much for joining today. We're super excited to tell you more about what we've been working on for a very long time and to share it with everyone today. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is to set everything live. A couple of things. We love to answer questions. Type them in the Q&A part, and we'll take them as makes sense as we go along, typically towards the end, because we have a lot to cover today. This is our biggest update that we ever have done before, since we were founded in 2014. So I'm super excited to share what we're doing here at Saleshub and show you the future of sales. So let me just go ahead and get my screen shared here, and then we get started. Perfect. So first of all, we're the only product in the market that actually are a part of Microsoft that works with LinkedIn within the LinkedIn automation space. We're part of the Microsoft for Startups program and been so for the last 16 months. Co-selling with Microsoft sales reps on enterprise accounts. So that's a big honor for us as a company, being 100% bootstrapped, to have their support. So just wanted to actually share that, because we actually never put it public anywhere. So our whole goal today is to teach you a new way to sell, use better data, use better processes, and a new channel. So let's go to it. So our mantra is going to be, don't just go to the market, but own your market. What we mean by that is we want you to own your market, to have the best process out there, and to start selling more and winning more by having a better process. That's what we're all about here at Saleshub. So what is new? Well, we redid our design, and originally back in 2015, one of our team members, we had an office in Omsk, Siberia, 18 employees at that time. He made different sketches, he put them behind, and he did this one where you have the new design. And that seems like some French company actually found that and cloned that at some point, which doesn't bother us. But this design template actually originated as a concept that put on behind in 2015. He's no longer with us. He got an enterprise job. Great guy, Roman. So we went back to the roots, really looked at how can we make software more useful on the screen. We crazy about the real estate. How can it be more functional for you and make sense? Now the next question is, did anybody ask for data? And the reason why I ask that is data became so important to make data-driven sales. We're looking at signals out there. What type of signals can you use to sell more? And when we look at that, we took all the data we have in our network and packed it into Saleshub in a new way to enable you to identify and find companies in ways you might not have seen before. Finally, sales is a process. Sales is not something that you just go out and do. It's an entire process. You got to have a whole framework to do it right. It's not enough just to send a couple of LinkedIn requests, put a picture, a video, hope people reply. You got to focus. It's all about them, particularly what's happening these days, how people have over the last couple of years truly made LinkedIn harder to sell on because they don't have an approach and they're just spraying and praying. And finally, we have more flexibility for user management in the platform and for agencies. So let's dive into it. So the way we look at it is there's a new order in sales. People used to go to LinkedIn, use a plugin, and reach out, and you had a high reply rate at some point until everybody started doing it. It's like marketing. One subject line is great right now until everybody does it. So sales and marketing has the 6 to 12 months period where something really makes a difference. And then when we're a Saleshub, we're really going to guide our customers to get them to the next level so they stay ahead of the rest. And that's what we're doing here. So if we look at LinkedIn Sales Navigator, first of all, email verification. I'll get back to that after, why it's getting harder, particularly because of Outlook and Microsoft Dynamics, which is fine. We have ways to go around it. But generally, if you don't do LinkedIn right, it's a big red flag, right? You really got to master it well to have success, unless you're selling to people that nobody's selling to. Then maybe the old spring tree approach that many people did on LinkedIn still works. But for the majority, they're just getting sick and tired of actually getting bad LinkedIn requests. Like, for example, this person, hey, Jasper, look like you're doing some interesting work at Demand, so I'd love to connect. Well, why didn't you mention anything about my work or what we're doing at Demand? Obviously, this is just a merge tag company name. So I know the moment that I accept this is from a sales rep, of course, I'm going to get a sales pitch. No real human connection. He didn't mention anything I accomplished or anything that we're doing or that I posted on social. He honestly have no clue who I am. This is just from automation, and people are getting so smart that they can see through the fingers with that right now. The next one, hope you're healthy and safe. Well, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have taken a plane to get the vaccine and go to another country to take it earlier this year. So I should be, right? I know that's a polite way to greet, but the reality is that's getting old too. We getting back in the office. I'm back in my office here right now. World is getting back to normal. But he's talking about if I need software development, affordable certified mobile AI, ML bots, blockchain, web, and Internet of Things experts. Had he just used Tech Tracker for a second, he will realize that we're using Elasticsearch, we're using Laravel in the framework, and so on and so forth. What services we're using is Azure, obviously, as we're sponsored by Microsoft. We're also using AWS and a subset of other servers, a scale-weighted solution, but none of that is there. Could have taken him a minute if he used the right methodology. And then I would have replied. I would say, you know what? If you said, do you need somebody for Elasticsearch right now to work on that work or mini APIs for that? I would be like, you know what? I might have a position. So that's the problem with sales. So we've got to fix that. If we look at generally the sales process today and just coming back, this is exactly what we're fixing, and we'll get to how we do that later. Unified sales engagement platform, that's what we call a sales acceleration, give or take. I think the startup been calling sales acceleration, and then somebody, G2 Crowd, said we should call engagement platform. And now I think the industry is called that way. For me, it's simply to help sales ops customers reach their client faster in the channel that matters to them. So typically, you will go out and buy a database and LinkedIn data. You have email verification system. You probably have some technology enrichment. You will have a system to track visitors that doesn't convert because 95% leave your websites. You want to talk to top of the funnel leads. You will have an email automation, probably some LinkedIn automation. And then this is extremely frustrating for a sales rep. It's like so hard to wrap your head around all these different tools, processes, and everything to actually get a conversation with a client. What we do at Saleshub is we're packaging all of that together in one platform, making it so easy to use. And that's exactly what we're showing you today. So think about it for a second. Everything you have here on the left is what Saleshub is. We want to be the first unified all-in-one sales engagement platform that can help you close deals faster than ever before. And that's what we're launching. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we're the first, I would call it omni-channel, because we do LinkedIn's and then emails, and we're launching one more thing, which is connected to the data points here. So we have right now, we are importing and enriching over 350 million leads worldwide with email private, or not, most of them are business emails, but private also comes into a very important factor when we're going to come to something later. I will explain that when we get there. And mobile numbers, which is also very, very isolated to something we're going to help you do. Then we have visitor tracking, identifying opportunities, and one-to-one personalization, which we also have a major update on. So we look at these buying signals. What makes people buy? What are they looking for? And this is a part of the new Sales Hub. So first of all, we go in and say, okay, who recently, within the last 30 days, added a particular technology like HubSpot, but also visit our website. So now I can prospect them that are not customers. And I can say, okay, they've been on our website, they added HubSpot in the last 30 days. Now I can hyper-personalize my message. I can reach out to them and say, hey, I know you're using HubSpot, and you're in the market for sales acceleration engagement platform. You have been through Saleshub, a lot of conversations. How can help? Make it very short. Of course, I would have written that much better, but now I'm just saying hypothetically in a webinar today. You will be able to filter and dice in your data and signals, so you can actually find people that are ready to buy versus people that are not so ready to buy. And typically, technology installs will visit your website are very, very strong signals. So that's coming into the prospect engine that we're launching with over 350 million people. I'll show you how that looks in the platform afterwards. So just to wrap up the data side, it's coming over 200 million companies that you can search, 350 million plus contacts, 100 million plus people who have mobiles, 200 million plus people who have business emails. And there'll also be a lot of them where we have the private, which can be used to enrichment when they fill out a form and put a Gmail. They have no idea who they are. We'll be able to figure it out for you. We also will enrich them with social URLs. So basically everyone will have a LinkedIn, Twitter, and a Facebook URL. That can be used in so many use cases. You set the tone for where you want to use it. I'm just going to keep on my second screen here. If somebody asks in the Q&A, happy to address that as we go along. Thank you. So one thing I talked about earlier was with data from LinkedIn. When people scrape data, typically you had to go out and find an email, use companies like Hunter.io or others if you didn't have Saleshub. But what happens is, let's say I'm downloading multiple people from a company that is hosted on Outlook Microsoft 365. Nobody talks about the challenge there because nobody is aware of it. So what happens is, if I take the first name, last name, and domain name and try to do what we call an MX handshake, reach out to the mail server to see if that exists, that mail server on the second retry, if you can't go very fastly after, what you do when you have multiple emails, will send a false positive saying this is a deliverable email. And when you do email verification, you always send a catch-all verification first, where you send something at the domain name to see if you catch all. And then typical platforms will say, hey, this email is deliverable. So suddenly you get a lot of false positives, which is really bad. That's why we're the only platform that have done that yet to do double verified emails. So we have two different server sets, two different parts of the world with about 400 different IPs on each subset of servers. There are multiple servers, each has over 400 IPs that have been warmed up since 2015. We do that with delays of some minutes to avoid going into this Microsoft everybody is verified, to give you actual emails that get delivered. And we've seen customers importing data to our platform lately. They use the likes of Neverbound and Kickbox. And out of 1,000 people, suddenly that 200 emails that bounce because they had multiple people from the same company. And the email verification systems, when they were hosted on Outlook, simply said that they were deliverable, but then they are not bouncing. And so we again verified that. We told them to run through our double verification. The rate went very much down. Just as an example. So that's why double verified emails are so important when it comes to email verification. So think about it for a second. Today you're using email and LinkedIn. There's basically no platforms like Saleshub that can do it in one unified way, where you can mix, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and you're going to be, wow, how you can actually combine email and LinkedIn in one automation, and all the steps are there. But as I said, we're launching mobile numbers. So what is the logic next step? And within GDPR and everything, in Europe, you cannot really send a text message, but you can send a WhatsApp. So we're going to introduce WhatsApp during end of September, early October into automations. So you're going to be able to send WhatsApp messages as a part of your outreach with LinkedIn, one button start, and that's it. What we have seen when we tested this is we have over 90% open rate in WhatsApp, and we have over 60% reply rate when we use WhatsApp. So this is a new golden opportunity for you to reach companies that doesn't reply on LinkedIn or email. It's all about finding people on the preferred channel. And this phone, we bring it to us everywhere. We sit at a restaurant, we look at it. When we go on private things like the restroom, we look at it. When we sit at the office, we take it off. When we're at home in the couch, when we get to the office, I mean, everywhere people use the phone. They rather check WhatsApp than the email, because in WhatsApp, it's technically just friends. So they're not used to get people trying to reach out to them, and they tend to reply. So that's why we're introducing WhatsApp, because the reply rate, it's just incredible. Now, for the ones that are using Saleshub today, we launched one-to-one personalization because we didn't want to be the company that has a low conversion for our clients. So basically, you have a step in automations where you can do one-to-one personalizations. And one-to-one personalizations allows you to modify the text. So on the left, we have Dan W. Smith, his LinkedIn profile, what technologies he's using. If you visit our website, we'll show that. So no, actually, John, he visited our website, Dan, before. We know what automation he's setting into the Saleshub version 5. He's a sales director on the West Coast, 15 years experience. We have a summary of him, career highlights. We know what he likes. We know what he cares about. Now, I will show you after in the platform how you do it, but you can scroll down in real life, not in the slides, and you can actually see his latest post on LinkedIn. So instead of talking about this for exact visitor, instead of having the connection request saying outbound sales is hard, I could simply replace this text, either talk about his latest LinkedIn post, or talk about what he's doing here, or his technologies, talk about something that makes Dan want to reply to me, right? It's really that simple. And then typically what I do is the connection request, I actually replace the first 2 lines in the email going out here, because then I just copy paste them in personalization, hit save, send to prospect, personalized in 30 seconds. And that makes Dan reply versus, hey, this is just from Saleshub, LinkedIn recommended you connect. It just smells, right? But if I say, love that you are new sales under customer success. I mean, you have 15 years development or experience. His achievements highlights, real build the BMW's BMC software inside sales team of 6 interdisciplinary high performance group. Ask for the experience, ask for something. He's an enterprise. So sometimes if you early on, you can go out and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody with your expertise. I see it. You rebuild the BMC software. To be frankly, I don't know what it is. I'm just being honest. But ask questions. I say, you know what? I really love your feedback on something I'm doing. It will just take you 2 seconds. If I can send you one pager, you would typically say yes because you personalized it. If you're in that one pager, then fulfill his pain. You'd be like, this makes total sense. Then you ask for a call, and we got a sales call, right? It's really simple. So one-to-one personalization is so important. We're also coming with custom variables, so you can import data in with 3 different custom variables. This is coming very soon. So you can import data, and then we can replace these custom variables. We're also coming with what we call a syntax spinner. So for example, now I mentioned some basic example, but one that really matters is, for example, this one with the greeting. Hey, then we can replace it with hey, hello, hi, dear, nice to meet you, and then the name. And the reason why I want to do that, and the same with the signature, best regards, kind regards, cheers, thanks, thank you. The reason why you want to do that is when you send an email outbound, if you don't 100% personalizing it, then Google, they're going to hash you. They're going to give you a key. And if this key is matched multiple times when sent, it doesn't matter how great email warm-up you have, they will start sending the spam folder. But if you have a rotation in the greeting, the signature, maybe the first line, then there's less likelihood, no matter your deliverabilities, that you're landing in the spam folder. And this is one of the most important things. That's why our team is building this out right now, and we're going to add it into the platform very, very shortly. Now, think about the syntax spinner and all the data we have here. What if we could do it even better? What if we took all the data here on the left and we let the system write the personalization for you? This is exactly what we're going to do. We're estimating in November, we have access to GPT-3 from OpenAI. We'll be ready with that. So we're building out with OpenAI's GPT-3 to use all the data we get on a person to put in snippets or sentences we're personalized based on the data. And we're testing this right now and building it out. And we'll launch it somewhere mid-November, end of November for all clients. So this is, for me, this is one of the most breakthrough things you get in sales engagement. Nobody does it. Nobody can do it at scale, built into the platform. Typically, you have to go to what do they call Jarvis.ai now, which is more focused on a marketer's point of view. We focus on training the OpenAI into how we can personalize from sales approach. And of course, then we'll fill out the fields for you. And it will only sit in the one-to-one personalization because we want you to verify that this makes sense. What comes out of the AI will do 95% of the time, but maybe sometimes there's something, an AI is not like a human. It doesn't have that final touch always, but it's getting as close as possible. So it's going to save you a ton of time and it's going to increase your conversions. So this is something we're super, super excited to share today with you. Now, once somebody replies to an automation, what happens then? Well, if using HubSpot and Pipedrive, we'll shoot them over, create them as a contact, copy over all the information about things. Our whole mantra is we want to make salespeople efficient, founders scale faster, and make it as easy as possible. So we're going to float all that data over. You don't have to do anything. It's one setting when you set up an automation, sales automation, and we will send all of the data over to your CRM. It's smart, right? That's live, have been for some time. We just want to classify it to the ones that didn't know or have missed the emails or updates. Now, some month ago, LinkedIn did something I would call the best news ever. They made it harder for people to spam. And I think this absolutely was needed because it gets harder for salespeople to break through the noise. When we get, as I showed you early on, hey, love what you do at Demand. Would you like to connect? You get too many of these. And obviously, automated, they're coming to you because they want something out of you. But the whole idea is you got to deliver value. We came up with a solution that's going to exceed the 100 requests a week. So obviously we have a huge database and we have private emails. Most people use the private emails to sign up for LinkedIn. So we're going to input them, send the request, and you're connecting. Very simple, but it's a ton of work behind, and this is coming very shortly. So this is actually, again, I haven't seen a company that are able to exceed the LinkedIn connection request. We found our way to it because we built a huge data network over the years, and we're able to do that now. So thank you. We're also adding in better stats. So we really want to focus on giving you better stats, right? So we're going to give you stats across, first of all, emails, but historically automations were not like email sequences, which is pure email one-to-one. Automation is the new version. So we update the stats so you get full stats of everything happening. So when you click on the left, you can see for every sales automation that you're running. So basically, you're going to see how many people open, how many emails did you send, the open rate. This is just from a demo account. We send some stuff out during demos. So obviously, these numbers could be a lot better, but this is more for illustration purposes. We can see how many LinkedIn connection requests we sent, how many accepted, how many visits, auto visits we did, how many messages we sent, the reply rate. This is, again, mostly in the test environment for engineers, this part, but the reply rate is typically a lot higher on LinkedIn. So one-to-one, as I showed earlier, we can see how many did we start, how many are pending. So I know how many tasks I have to do one-to-one to actually go in and say send or modify them, and how many are executed. So that's live right now. Now think about it. You build this big automation, you connect with somebody on LinkedIn, and they write thank you. The automation stops. You need to manually follow up. Well, not anymore, because we have a unified inbox. What we're adding is re-enroll. So it's coming a button right here tomorrow. You click on the button, we re-enroll them into the automation where they lift up. So when they say thank you or nice to meet you, we will push them back into the automation precisely where they left up, and you will continue the automation so you don't miss the opportunity or forget to follow up. So it's completely automated. And we unified the inbox, as you will see here. Now the screenshot doesn't have LinkedIn, but it would be a LinkedIn logo here if the email came from LinkedIn. The LinkedIn message they're replying to. So it's unified LinkedIn Sales Navigator, regular LinkedIn, your email, and soon it's going to be your WhatsApp inbox as well coming there. So you can control everything from one place and keep on touch of everything. And once you hit reply, it's going to pop up to you, and it's going to ask you in how many days do you want this message to resurface, because once you're doing replies and then re-enroll them, we're doing one-to-one. If you did the automation with sending them over automatically to HubSpot, typically you take over there and Saleshub is out of the picture. We created that connection, that conversation. We did the magic. Now it's up to you to sell. We also have so many versions that you can do with inbound webhooks. So for example, like today, I didn't do it today because we had over 1,000 people actually signing up for this webinar. So in the end, yesterday was about 450 early in the morning. So we had a lot of signups. Great job from the marketing. So we didn't do this today, but normally if it's a smaller webinar, I'll use inbound webhook. We will enrich the email with our system find in the back end here. We'll automatically know the LinkedIn URL of the person. Then we can send them a connection request saying, hey, thank you so much for signing up for a webinar. So excited to see you. Do a follow-up message after the webinar to see how it went on LinkedIn. Also emails if you want. So there's endless of use cases. You can also, as I mentioned here, is sitting on our blog. You can download funding data from Crunchbase, upload them from an Airtable or CSV, and automatically prospect them using a new prospector or LinkedIn Sales Navigator, 100% automated. We'll find the leads and we enroll them into an automation, and you can reach out to companies that just raised funding. So there are so many use cases. Webhooks is live in the platform. If you haven't used it, go to a blog, read about it. There's so many ways you can actually engage with the data and the automations. We also have an exclusive with Exact Visitor. So we can tell you two things. There's coming people tracking to Sales Hub that can be bought through the API with Exact Visitor. So we can tell you precisely the email of the person. It's going to get enriched with the new prospector. So we'll tell you the name, job title, everything based on the email once we complete the whole prospecting engine, when all the data is imported within the next 20 days. And obviously, if you have the mobile plan, you will see the mobile numbers, and you'll be able to actually sort them by what technologies they're using and everything, create filters, get alerts in Slack, know when somebody very important comes to your website, so you can call and talk to them, for example. But company visitors will just show the companies, and that start at $60 a month as an add-on, and you get a tracking code you put in your website. As I mentioned, we have exclusive access with a tech tracker, which is part of demand. And you'll always be able to see out of 9,500 technologies for any company what they're using. So we know these guys using Microsoft Dynamics CRM, they have Facebook custom audiences, using GitHub, and so on and so forth. So I know that they're using some premium software, which makes them more likely to want to pay for software. While if I've read WordPress and a bunch of other systems that doesn't cost much or little, I probably would say, okay, they are not as important in my sales cycle. So I know that and I can qualify them. Now, together with Tech Tracker, we bring out the world's biggest logo API. And think about this number for a second, 180 million plus domains, actually 200, but about 20 million doesn't have a domain. That's why it's 180 million. So Clearbit has about 20 to 25 million domains, and basically every company out there is using the Clearbit API to access domains right now. We're almost done crawling all of them right now. So we are, together with Tech Tracker, enabling you, for example, with Hyperrise to reach smaller businesses where Clearbit wouldn't cover the logo, to personalize images, or use it in any way you want in your platform. You'll be able to integrate with our free API for logos, and you'll be able to do that. We're launching with over 180 million domains with logos for enrichment. And again, this is a major thing that we're doing here at Sales Hub. We're also redoing a Chrome plugin. So as our data set grows, you will, once it gets redone, be able to go to any website, know basic information about them, see the technologies, sort prospects, add them to an automation from the website. So you don't need to sit on LinkedIn. You can sit on any website saying, I want to see the VP of sales, VP of marketing. You just click, they go into the automation. If there's one-to-one, you enter the one-to-one after. If there's no one-to-one, everything is automated. The emails go out. If you're a startup, want to raise VC funding, great way to do it. Go to different funds, read about them, throw them into the automation, the managers or partners you read about that are your fit, because they all have different verticals. So you typically want to reach the right person. If you mass email everybody from the fund and they talk together, it'll be like the founders don't know what they're talking about. So for example, if it's us and we see whoever likes the sales acceleration enablement space, there may be two partners. I'd rather sit on the website, spend a second saying, okay, prospect, click, add those two, and we start the entire automation. And I'm actually engaging, showing that I know what I'm doing to these partners, and they will be more likely to open my pitch if I was looking for funding. So that's another use case, but also when you do sales, obviously you're not going to send to everybody in the company. Now, the way we operate with LinkedIn is we use a cookie. And we don't use that cookie, but it's hard to find a placement picture of a cookie. So we like a chocolate cookie, right? Everybody loves chocolate cookies, almost everybody. Maybe somebody like blueberry, I don't know. But long story short, we're adding a new way, and we are testing it at the moment, to auto-update your cookies without you having to log back into Saleshub and log into LinkedIn. We're going to run it at a server side where it runs on a fixed IP. Those fixed IPs will also get into automation. So your automations will be running on a fixed IP assigned to you once that's done. So we will maintain the cookie for you. So automations, if a cookie fails, it will just re-update it. So automations will just run and run and run. And again, if you think about how you operate with LinkedIn, there are plugins that's traceable. Then there are systems that ask for your username and password. Then log into LinkedIn continuously, doing it over and over again. LinkedIn can track that. Then there are cookies. And as far as I know, there's only one of our editors, Phantom, doing that. And that is by far the safest way. We have been doing this since 2014. And I believe we did the first commercial LinkedIn scraper back then. We didn't even have a UI. It was kind of a funny story. We went live without a UI, worked in terminal in DOS. And after now, we had a customer paying $29 back then, which was kind of funny. Then put a UI on, we went in the cloud, and here we are. Long story short. So what Reid Hoffman for LinkedIn said back then, if you're embarrassed of your first product you launched too late, and looking back, I was probably a little bit embarrassed. Didn't have a UI. If you look at user experience, it's probably the worst experience. But it was the only way to get the job done back then. There was no common technologies in the market. For companies with multiple users, we're launching new permissions. You can add sub-manager rights. You can log in window cookies to maintain accounts. And for example, with our plugin today, if I log in with a cookie, it's going to capture my LinkedIn account. So for example, if I go into this one Salestools user, I can log in without the cookie. I can update their sequences. Then I can just click Jasper here, log out, and I'm back into my account, and I can manage his account or her account without having to do anything. So that's important. We also have a landing page. I recommend you to write this down, list.saleshub.ai. There's a bunch of free lists. We'll be adding more every month with free company data that you can use for prospecting. It goes from anything from Inc. 5000 to companies that recently raised funding to the Y Combinator portfolio of companies. So there's a lot of interesting companies in this list. This list can be uploaded to Saleshub, and through an automation, you can find the decision maker. So to any other party, you don't have to use it with us. We give it away for free. So head over to list.saleshub.ai if you want free data. The final thing is what we learned since 2014. And to be honest, we never really focused on is to help our customers, teach them how to actually use the product or processes that we learned from working with the best sales accelerator out of San Francisco over the years. How to build that process, how to test your ICP, how to test the personas, how to actually do better copywriting. There's so many things that you need to look from a data-driven perspective if you want to scale. And once you have the data points right, you can scale. That's why we're building out a Netflix-style training environment where you can go in and see like you can do on Netflix. It's going to be very similar, very inspired by that, because people watch YouTube today. But you concentrate more, and it's more fun to look around. So we followed that experience, we build it out. So we're also going to do interviews with the best sales coaches out there, different business owners, what works for them and not didn't work for them. I've launched everything inside Demand Plus. It's coming in about a month, and it's going to be free. So you can head into Demand Plus. We will send you an email when it's live, and you can take the best learnings that we actually have and taught everybody what we learned over the years as well. Extremely important. So we're super excited about that. Now I want to go into the platform. So I'm just going to do like this. And as you will see right here, I don't have a lot of data here right here. This is my test account, but you're going to be able to see a LinkedIn engagement, active emails, accounts that you're working on, dashboard of your automations, individual automations, how you're doing. Tomorrow you'll be able to hit contacts and see a full list of contacts where they are, who opened the email, who clicked on reply, who accepted your LinkedIn connection request, and so on and so forth. So a lot of happening. You will see that prospectors now live. Again, I will give it 3 weeks before I highly recommend to use put it live, because I want to show to the world what we're doing. But I can go in and see who installed HubSpot the last month, who installed any technology the last month, who came to our website, because we have the track installed the last 7 days, and then get a list. I can prospect them. And by company size, industry. I'm just going to take one example here. And we can say exclude saved companies. So companies we already prospected, we don't want in the list. So we just remove them. It takes a little bit longer because we're going to dedupe when we do that. And take these companies and say, I want to find contacts. And you can create personas. You can go by job titles and so on and so forth. There's a VP sales, right? You click here if you only want them with a mobile number and so on and so forth. Then you just select. So you select all, for example. There's too many here. You just hit save, and this showing inside your platform. We can double verify the emails again. They're going to come a button to add them directly to an automation from here. The next update in a couple of days. I showed you one-to-one personalization earlier, but I just want to show you in depth why it's so important to personalize and how easy it is. So once you set up an entire automation, you see all the steps coming out. You'll be able to see the technologies they're using. I'm just going to show you one here. So I can go into this guy, Stewart. I can click on his last post on LinkedIn. So for example, maybe I want to mention that. So this was yesterday. He talked about valuable insights for supervisors and team leads, how to coach your team members. So I go in and say, okay, love your post yesterday about how to mentor your team members. Thanks for sharing. I mean, it doesn't have to be harder than that to personalize this. It's really not that hard. It's just about grabbing that attention. And then we just do like this. And now we're sending to Steve. Now I personalized it, right? Now talk about something he cares about. Automations, we talked about it earlier. For the ones that haven't seen it, an automation can be from any of these starting points. Somebody who commented on LinkedIn, somebody who just added a technology, we can do something. And basically what automations then do is we can see if the cookie is updated. So this one works from the plugin. I imported CSV file as a starting point of my contacts. We added manual prospecting, which is the one-to-one section right here that will show up in. Then we say if the email is verified or not. Then we send the LinkedIn connection request. We have a delay. And then we send email templates. We build like an entire flow. If no verified email, we do everything in LinkedIn. We also have a new section. So for example, if you have templates, you can now store, we can also auto input the LinkedIn profile image if you like. That's another functionality that's in the help desk section, how to do that. But you can personalize and actually store your LinkedIn messages, LinkedIn connection requests as templates. You don't have to rewrite them. So rebuild your automation, you just pull them, and the same right here for email templates, of course. You see team templates, your own, you can start them. So it's pretty straightforward. You see the visitors precisely who came to your website, the people, the companies, and the best part, I'm just going to click right here. I click one-to-one personalization, sorry for that. The best part is we launched the new pricing, and you'll be able to see it on our website today. All the pricing started $49, and unlimited leads started, it's actually $99 per month. So you'll be able to see precisely. I know this is Sean Aerosmith at Crossword Cybersecurity. He came by our website 26th of July. Now, I want to keep in mind, we have the exact visitor track on our website right now. So this is outdated. This is the Saleshub tracker. As we're migrating sales exact visitor also over. So for the purpose of exact visitor, we run both. But for you, you will be able just to run here the Saleshub, same data set. It wouldn't change anything for you. So it's out of the box. You can get alerts when somebody comes in Slack or email. When they visit, you can set up filters every time somebody comes to your website. They're using a technology like HubSpot, Salesforce. You can just say save, pick the channel, Slack, for example, an email alert, and it'll go out there. I'm just going to look into some questions. So somebody asking if there's outgoing webhooks. Well, there is a bunch of integrations. So right now we're inbound webhooks, but if you want something outbound, you have Zapier. Otherwise, we have Salesflare, Automize, Pipeline Deals, Marketo, Insightly, Pardot, Salesforce, HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics, Pipedrive. I mean, we have all the major CRMs there. And if you don't find your system, you can send everything outbound by using Zapier. So I have another question for William. That is in another forum. You can ask that. You can ask that in the chat because you have a past deal on your subscription. So that's a different thing. Just to clarify that. So if you go out on Saleshub, we update our website to be able to see more into what we do. You'll be able to see a better presentation of the launch we did today. The pricing, you can sign up without a credit card, download 100 leads either from the plugin with LinkedIn, automation with LinkedIn, 5,000 emails a month, $49 unlimited with 50 mobile numbers, $99. And you see what's included here in the packages. So it's pretty straightforward. You see the pricing. If you're an agency, you can add sub accounts. White label costs $60 to unlock. Technology enrichment, $60. Website tracking is $60 on top. You have all the questions right here answered. And Louis, I did answer you can use Zapier for that aspect. So you should be fully covered. William, again, you gotta ask our chat about your question. The builder for campaign, yeah, we did update that significantly. So the campaign builder getting a lot more functions, Cohen. If you can ask, do you mean automations, Cohen, or do you refer to like the templates itself? So right now, in about a week time in automations for the template builder, you're going to be able to have custom variables. They're going to come 3. We also have, and to be honest, this is going to be interesting. So if I'm just going to do here from Sales Navigator. I want to show you an example. So I'm searching some people on Sales Navigator. And I believe we actually got an update to that. So I go in and say automations. I want to build an automation Sales Navigator. I say I want to download the first 100 people. If I'm not entirely wrong, I don't know if they implement that yet, but we have a new function. Exactly. You'll see it here. I'm just going to say, so there's a new function called when connected. So if you put a time between them, for example, you give them 2 days to connect it. Actually, this one is when they're connected. So when we track them to be connected, we're going to send them an email as an example. So basically, we will only continue if they are connected in this example. So we have that option now. That's something new that we just added. I just wanted to see if it went live. You can also sort your automation if the email is verified, if they open an email, if they click the link in the email. For example, let's assume there was an email on top. But there's in settings part, you can go in. If you have HubSpot and Pipedrive, you automatically sync them over. Otherwise, from the unified inbox, if you have your CRM installed, you'll be able to click right here. Just bear with a second. You will have save here right here. So once the reply here, you can hit save here and you go to any platform in the world, the data. So hope that answered that question. So let's see here. So WhatsApp automation, yes. Somebody asked that. So basically, like we have right here, like my contacts, you enroll from my contact, the save contact section. You can enroll, I'll show you in a second. So like you have LinkedIn, they're going to come WhatsApp button here. So if this is a mobile number, then it's going to execute. Otherwise, we're going to bypass the step if we don't have a mobile number. And hope that makes sense. So that's how it's going to work. So you can say build a LinkedIn connection request, and or vice versa. You can send WhatsApp messaging and say, hey, I also just send your LinkedIn connection request. And then you add the WhatsApp before, which will come right here when it goes live. It's not on the live server now, but then you'll be able to add it in as a step, and then it will ask you what message are you going to write. And once they hit reply, obviously, it's going to show up in the unified inbox. You need to set up a Twilio account to run WhatsApp. You actually need to apply with that phone number and your Facebook business ID, because those are the WhatsApp rules. But once we publish it, we're going to give you the details. It's not as out of the box as LinkedIn, because WhatsApp is a closed ecosystem. So we have to play by their rules. But we will reveal in detail once we push it out how you set it up. But it's something you spend 5 minutes to do, and you wait 1 day to get approved, and then you're live. It's really, really simple. Just to give you some idea, Louis. Thank you for asking. Cohen, did I answer your question? If not, then please rephrase it. Hope that makes sense. Let's see here. I actually, in this webinar platform, haven't used it much. I have no idea how many people showed up today. So that's kind of funny. But love to answer more questions if there are. But most important, perfect, Cohen. Hope the answer was as you wanted it. And again, there will come much more data in right now. The team worked very much in the infrastructure behind for the prospector. It is running in extremely fast. We're running in about 30, 40 million people a day. We're adding 700 million people. We are bypassing people that doesn't have a company profile. They will not get imported because we wouldn't be able to have any valid data on them. So that's coming in as we speak. And yeah, you will be able to prospect like you do on LinkedIn, basically. So you don't have to go to LinkedIn and prospect. You can activate the data from here. Will work for LinkedIn automations, which is super, super exciting. And again, haven't you tried Saleshub yet? We used to require credit card to sign up. We don't do that anymore. So it was the pricing. You can sign up a credit card, and you're having instant access to run automation, get the first 100 leads. You don't have to put a credit card, and they renew every month. In fact, we just put that live earlier today as a part of our release today. So if you go to sign up, you will see it's very, very simple. We only ask for a credit card if you choose a paid plan right now, but you always upgrade to a paid plan later when you see the true value. And the next 2 weeks, I'm going to dedicate my full time on video production for all of you to actually help you on a better experience, to set up the best sales cycle for you. And if anybody needs an onboarding, they're more than welcome to come to the chat. Love to walk you through it. So basically, if you're on the free one, it will not ask you for a credit card only. These are not free trial; those are direct purchases. But you can join the free one. You can always upgrade. So it's pretty straightforward. So in the past, we asked for a credit card, but we've seen some people they forgot to cancel and they were not happy about it. We had to refund them, which obviously we always do. But we don't want people to have a bad experience. We want people to talk about Saleshub because we're here to make you a difference for you. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to end it here. I hope you learned something about what we're launching. This is our biggest update to date. And there's so many small things that makes a big difference in your outcome that we're working on. So I hope you will take that back, enjoy the platform, get started running in sales. If you do have specific questions, go down on our front page, talk to our chat, right? Message us, and just click right here. Talk to us. We'll be happy to answer you more in detail. We're here to help you. And then take it from there. Go start your free trial if you don't have an account already. The new interface is live. We also work with different companies that are heavy users over the last couple of months, and we had our customer success running over all the tickets and really put them into the knowledge base. So there's a lot more meat on the knowledge base today. We're also getting the Google Oath through very soon. We're engaged with 3 security companies that Google authorized to do it. So that is just a matter of time. So you one click, you up and go. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. William, just hit the chat. Love to assist you after. Okay, William. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good day.